think kids are on a whole nother level, though. It's beautiful, isn't it? Like, I can't even answer my 4-year-old's questions. Honestly, forget the answers. I don't understand the questions. The other day he came to me and he said, and I quote, "Daddy, how do you know some sorts of slides?" I'm gonna repeat that because if you're like me, it feels like you just got kicked in the brain. So he said, "Daddy, how do you know some sorts of slides?" How do you even begin to grapple with that sentence? Like, I said it back to him slowly. I tried to sneak up on it. I was like, good question, buddy. I mean, so how is what you're saying. You're saying how. That's a good word, how. How do I, me, your dad, how do I know? I mean, how do any of us really know? But more specifically, how do I know some, not all, just some. How do I know some sorts? How do I know some sorts? How do I know some sorts of slides? Go ask your mother. And he did. He was like, "Mama, how do you know some sorts of slides?" Right away. She's like, "Well, when I was a little girl, I used to go on slides, and that's how I know some sorts of slides." And he said, "Okay," and just walked away. Just walked away like he hadn't just altered my life forever. It's haunted me. I need to ask somebody else this question so I can see the stupid look on their face that was apparently on my face. I want to ask it at some sort of like high-stakes event, break into a political Q&A, steal a press badge, elbow my way to the front. "Excuse me, Mr. Premier, Matt Falk, former paperboy, Winnipeg Free Press. How do you know some sorts of slides? The people deserve to know." Start a chant. "Some sorts of slides. Some sorts of slides." One guy in the back. "Some sorts of slides." "Yeah, some sorts of slides." The tabloids. "Elvis is alive. Elvis is... No, some sorts of slides." Kids are in their own little world. And I say, let them. Because the big old world we got waiting for them, well, it's not great. It's not great. You got to admit it. We live in a world where sometimes people's pets get carried off by eagles. Wow, sorry to bring the room down. I agree, it's sad. It's mainly sad because kids are unprepared for this. You know, there's no good kids book about the subject. Someone ought to write one. They won't, so I did. There's already a book my wife and I read to our kids every night before they go to bed. I just changed the words to match this scenario. I hope you enjoy. It's called Lucky. Lucky was a sunny dog, a funny dog, a loves to walk and runny dog, a regal dog, a beagle dog, a sees the mighty eagle dog, Alan's dog, a balanced dog, but now all he feels is Talon's dog. A sky dog, a cry dog, a dropped from very high dog. Lucky is a weak dog, a sneak dog, a hears a distant shriek dog. A run dog, a shunned dog, a blinded by the sun dog, a bark dog, a marked dog, and then everything went dark dog. Lucky was a scarred dog, a guard dog, a buried in the yard dog. Thank you. Thank you. It did feel good. It did feel good. Should I write children's books? No. Stay in your lane, Falky. No. I gotta keep the main thing the main thing. That's what my boss at the corn maze taught me. I'm a big believer in that. I don't think every artist needs to be good at every art, you know? Because then pretty soon you get James Spader showing up at open mic nights. I don't need that kind of competition. For the record, I do not believe James Spader would be funny, but I believe he would be so confident that he would almost feel funny. It'd be like, a skeleton walks into a bar. He sits down and the bartender says to the skeleton, "What can I get for you?" To which the skeleton replies, "I'll have a soda pop and a mop." You do realize the joke I've just shared with you is universally considered to be funny. And yet you sit there with your benign faces, staring at me, judging me, thinking you can do better, but you can't because you're just an audience. An audience that came to a comedy show, hoping for a good time, but will leave sorely disappointed. Now, I'm not gonna change careers. I mean, quite honestly, who would have me at this point? Like, I couldn't do trades. I tried renovating our house at one point. It broke me physically, emotionally, and spiritually. We tore out our carpet. If you've ever done this, you know you just have this huge roll of carpet just sitting in your garage. You can't do anything with it. You can't put it at the end of the driveway for the garbage folk to take away. They won't take it. Couldn't borrow a truck. I only know one guy who owns a truck, and he knows he owns a truck, and he knows I'm doing renovations, and he's not taking my calls right now. So I don't have a truck, but what I do have is an X-Acto knife and time. So I spent the better part of 6 months just slicing. Got my carpet into tiny little strips, rolling those up and hiding them in my garbage can, and just watching week after week as they unknowingly took it away, bit by bit. I was Shawshanking my carpet is what I was doing. I was just going for walks, sprinkling bits of carpet on my neighbor's lawn. Lovely petunias, Gladys. Carpet. We did all the renovations in our house pretty quickly because our family went on a very big trip. We traveled, some of you may know this, our family is created through adoption. So we traveled to South Africa in the middle of the pandemic to meet our youngest son. Now, because of the timing of the situation, before we left, people told us, "Now? You're going right now? Well, I would not be traveling right now." And I just felt like going, really? What a hot take that is. Oh, boy. This feels like ideal timing for us. In fact, when we started the adoption journey years ago, we told our social worker, if you could hold off on completing this until there's a global pandemic, the likes of which the world hasn't seen in over 100 years. In fact, if it's not too much to ask, could you figure out a way to get 4 different strangers to shove 4 different Q-tips up my nose on 4 separate occasions? That'd be wonderful. Of course we went. We followed all the safety protocols. It was a wonderful trip for many obvious reasons that you can piece together in your own spare time. One of the selfish reasons why the trip was great is because I am a bird watcher, and there are terrific birds in South Africa. Birds that ruin Canadian birds for you. Because when you've seen a collared barbet, a goldfinch is just a yellow rat. Do we have any bird watchers in the crowd? Where are my birders? Some of the birders just raising their hands. That's nice. Me. I don't want to be too loud because that scares off the birds. I've trained myself to be quiet. Yeah, well, you guys are a birding crowd. You're going to love this next bit. But South Africa, they got some amazing birds, man. They got sunbirds, hottie-daws, fork-tailed drongos. Oh, yeah, buddy. They got drongos. The best bird I saw out there by far was a crowned eagle. A crowned eagle. It's as if God said, I see your bald eagle, and I raise you an eagle with a hat. Sidebar, God is not British. He's practicing for a play. He's gonna be Hamlet. That's a big role even for God. You need to rehearse. Okay, good. Yeah, we went on a safari, and our safari guide was also a birder. So for the entire length of the safari, we could talk about literally every single bird we saw along the way, which was great, just great. My wife's words exactly, just not in that tone. Yeah. Everyone always tells me, they say, Matt, shut up about the stupid birds. Tell us about the travel. Oh, if you've never gone from continent to continent with 2 children under the age of 5, I highly recommend it. It's 4 flights. The very first thing my 1-year-old said to us as soon as he sat down on the first flight was, all done. Yeah, there's no more terrifying words in the English language to hear your 1-year-old say before 36 hours of travel than all done. I'm trying to reason with him. I'm like, we are so far away from all done. Did you see that guy? He hasn't even sat down yet. You need to pace yourself. You had to wear masks at all times. And I was happy to do it, you know. But it was an airline. There was no choice. Plus, we flew Lufthansa. They were a German airline. And they were being German about it. Let's just say that. They were walking around. Okay, everybody, do you have your masks on? Masks on? Put your mask on. Here we go. Put your mask on. You can wear a mask or a parachute. Your choice, okay? Joking, not joking. Whoopsie, there you go. They're walking around at nighttime shining flashlights in people's eyes. Just walking. Don't fiddle. I see you fiddling with the mask. I know what that means. That means you're taking it off or putting it on. Don't mess with Hans. Hans sees everything. You had to wear it at all times except while you were eating, that everyone could take off their mask at the exact same time. Feels like a flaw in the plan, doesn't it? You're telling me if it slips below my nose, I can be fined for this, but then suddenly at lunch, all the Germans go, okay, 3, 2, 1, everybody take him off. It's like, from people just chit-chatting like they're at a patio in the middle of summer. This brownie's pretty good. Be a bad time to verschluck, let me tell you right now. Thank you.